Hello Squidinators, this is not your typical gaming video. This is actually a tutorial video. I had a fellow subscriber request a tutorial video on this thumbnail, so that's what we'll be doing in this video. Alright, instead of deleting everything, I just simply toggled the visibility off and deleted all of the masks. So I don't have to go through all my files and manually input everything all at once. So the way that I do thumbnails is I try to get live pictures from my game specifically as often as possible. When I edit my games, I stop at moments that look picturesque. If it looks like a good picture that I could possibly put into the thumbnail, then I'll take a screenshot of it through the actual footage of the game. This is just a regular picture that I rescaled to be bigger, and I had just decided to put it over here. The next picture that I had took from my game footage was this one. Again, just a regular screenshot of my game that I had rescaled. Now what I did with this photo and this photo is a gradient mask, right? You take the photo that you want on top. So right here down in the layers section, this photo of the clown here is on top. So you add a mask to that, and you can do a gradient over a mask that helps blend the two photos. So I have my gradient selected here, and you simply go back and forth like that. Like you're able to adjust it the way that you want. So that's the background. The next part that I always do in general, no matter the thumbnail, is I find a photo of the title for the most part. I don't always have a title, but for the most part I do. So this is just a photo that I had taken from the internet, just a title screen, and you mask all of it out, right? So make sure you have that layer selected, layer 2, which is my title picture. And I always go to Object Selection Tool. And this gets a little tedious, but you then slowly highlight every single piece, every single letter. Now up here in the corner, if you just regularly select this one square, you can't multi-select. So make sure if you want to do a title like this, that you have this dual square selected, because that way you can always select multiples. See? It's not getting rid of any of them. So that's how we get to this step here. And you do the exact same if you're putting your face onto the thumbnail as well. It's the exact same thing. When you take your pictures and look funny in front of your family, right? I upload it into my OneDrive, which then I upload, which I have access to on my files. You upload that into Photoshop here, and you do the exact same thing as you did with the title, except a little bit more detailed, right? Typically, you can highlight over yourself pretty easily, and it'll create the general shape that you want, and then you'll go in with the fine tune. Now, sometimes I use the regular object selection tool, and I just click Alt to get rid of big patches. If you click Alt, it's the minus sign. You can get rid of big patches like that. But around the headphones, which is always the most detailed part of putting my face onto my thumbnails, you go to Quick Selection Tool. I always have a low number like 3, 4, 5, and you just rotate between adding to the selection and deleting to the selection. So like right here, I always add this part of my headphones. You just go ahead and start editing that in. Same thing with this part, I always add this in, right? But see how too much got added? Then you go into the minus sign and you just manually kind of work your way back. Re-add what got deleted. I don't know if there was an easier way. This is just the way that I do it. And then of course, to get the little small spots, you go in with the minus sign as well. It's a trial and error, it's a back and forth kind of thing. The same thing up with the rest of the headset. Once you have your mask on there, you can then come into select and mask, because everything will look a little rough around the edges. So I just do a generic up the smooth, drop the shift edge. And that's typically how I get my face looking so awesome. It's the exact same process for the blood as well. This is the original photo that I had, which is from the game. This is a photo completely from the game, and I thought, boom, that's awesome. That'll be easy to crop. So then, again, I went around and masked the whole thing until I got what I liked. Bam. Just like that. And then Squid Chip here, I always draw Squid Chip out first. And then I put him into Illustrator. As you can see, I have multiple Squid Chips here, looking beautiful. Now, I'm not going to redraw my Squid Chip for you. That simply would take too much time. If you want an official tutorial, I can always just record when I'm actively doing another Squid Chip. However, I'll just explain my process here. Always go to File, Place, and I grab from my OneDrive the uploaded Squid Chip drawing. This is the only one I have right now because I deleted them. And I resize this bad boy, align him here. And then that layer that this picture is on, I'll block it out, lock it. And then I have a drawing pad. It's a Wacom drawing pad. It's the Intuos one without a screen, and I draw over this. Rough drawing here, but I will always cross my lines because once I draw and trace everything, you can go in, highlight it, highlight all of your lines, and then go in with the shape builder, click Alt, and it'll come up with a minus sign, and you can get rid of any edges that you want to make a more defined look. So then with that, I have my whole Squid Chip drawn. Then I go in with the pen tool on a separate layer. Obviously, my layers right now are jumbled in showing you this. But we would move our outlines to a separate layer. A layer under your outline. I go in and retrace everything and fill it with the color of my choice so that it's always under my underline, just like that. And I do that until I get all of this. Bam! And there he is. There's the Squid Chip himself. I do a transparency background and an export of PNG for my Squid Chip out of Illustrator. And that is the general process of how I get my thumbnails in general, and more specifically, how I did the kidnap thumbnail. Make sure you leave a like on this video for my first tutorial video. What's up? If you have any future requests, whether it's a tutorial, whether it's a specific game to play, anything, make sure you leave that down in the comments and I will definitely take a look at them. As always, guys, bye-bye.